All right, moving on to our fourth team, we move to Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans. You're going to find out very quickly on this podcast that we are a huge Tom Izzo fan, really big fan of Izzo and the Spartans. Michigan State has one of those interesting teams. We're not sure if they can be good or bad this year. I think that they have one of the most stable teams in the league, but I do think that they have a lot of question marks as well. Not many transfers, no transfers actually. Just like Iowa, you do bring back Malik Hall, Tyson Walter, Joey Hauser, AJ Goudert, Jaden Atkins, and Matty Sissoko. Your thoughts on the Spartans? Last year, their Torvik was a 41st in the nation. That was something to keep in mind on that one. But the Spartans, in my mind, always should be relevant, always should be in the running in my mind in the Big Ten. But this year, again, this conference is just so dang deep, Steve.
Yeah, Tom Izzo is a tournament play savant. It's almost like he holds things back until the right time in big games, and then suddenly his team just pours it on. And I'm not saying pouring it on, scoring 110 points, but just an onslaught that just can't be stopped or controlled. Even a big key here is that Malik Hall and Joey Hauser are going to be on the floor together for the most part for the first time. They've generally been spelling each other prior, but now with the departures, they're going to be on the floor at the same time. And if they can perform, and if they can get the most out of their talents, I don't know that either of these guys are an NBA caliber player, but they have a chance to be damn good college basketball players. They're already probably halfway there as we speak. If they can truly play together, and I have a feeling that there's a chemistry there, there's an unspoken, they know who's going to be where on the court at any given time. That is going to really be a key for how Michigan State fares during the regular season and what kind of tournament run they might be able to have. The other thing to think about is they may play small quite often. They may go with a three guard rotation. So that will be interesting to see how other teams adapt to that. They could very easily find that to be troublesome to shift from, not that they're super big, but to go from having size on the court to having three guards on the court at the same time. And if teams are ready for that, that could work against what Izzo's plan might be along that. You might need to see them go away from that. But I mean, Michigan State's always going to be in the conversation as long as Tom Izzo is there. And I think once he does, and what Tom Izzo's got to be, what, 95, 96. I mean, at some point he is going to retire. Tom, I'm not making fun of you, but I mean, you've been around a long time, and that's something that's so great about college basketball. You have coaches that stay in places 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And it's so special. It's so great to see those kind of guys, on the sideline. We're going to be missing, coach, we talked about Krzyzewski leaving Duke. We talked about Jay Wright in our last podcast no longer being at Villanova. But just knowing that you have a guy on the sidelines that's always been there when that team is on, I think it just automatically gives you a reason to watch the game
Yeah,
because you have
I'm
pleasant flashbacks. And I think having Izzo on the bench is worth minimum 3 wins in the Big Ten above what might be projected.
That's fair. And as you say, the end for Izzo may be coming a lot sooner than we anticipated. I know he's not too thrilled about the NIL deals and all that stuff. He has talked about retirement, at least has talked about it a little bit. It's more than usual. My point here, Michigan State, is I could see this team as high as finishing second or third in the Big Ten, or finishing as low as like 7, 8, or 9 and being a bubble team in the NCAA and possibly missing the tournament for the first time in 25 straight years. This is one of those teams, and it all depends on continuity because there's not a certain player on this team that sticks out to you like a Hunter Dickinson of Michigan that says this is the guy that's going to get you into the
Fair.
NCAA tournament. They are a very good team if they can find continuity. They can, play two-sided basketball and really just glue. They're gonna be tested probably worse than any other team in the nation in the month of November. You look at their schedule, they go through the gauntlet right off the bat. We are truly going to find out what Tom Izzo has in store for him for this season when he faces Gonzaga on the second game of the season in the Armed Forces Classic. Then he plays Kentucky in the State Farm Champions Classic. Then he goes against Villanova. Then he takes on Alabama. Then he takes on Notre Dame. Those are all in November. The only easy game, quote unquote, in the month of November for Michigan State is their first one against Northern Arizona. Other than that, they're going through the gauntlet. December gets a little easier for them, but if they are not primed and ready to go, November is going to be a very tough time for the Spartans.
It's funny, and I have written down on my little card, Michigan State NIT champion.
Ooh.
I have a feeling that early schedule, and if the 3-guard rotation idea doesn't work for them, again, they'll be good. They'll be good enough to get into the NIT. They'll probably be on bubble watch the entire year. Yeah, but when you have a squad like this, is it really that bad to win the NIT?
If you're Tom Izzo and you're towards retirement and you have this long streak of making it 25 straight years, there's got to be a little bit of an ego there saying, yeah, it's bad.
I would beg to differ on that one. I think for Tom Izzo to take a team and win the NIT, a team that he knows that he's going to perhaps have his heart broken in the early rounds of the NCAAs, I think that could be a way to go out the way that he wants to go out. Not just being a winner, but taking a team, seeing them battle all year, getting them by the end of the year to win a tournament. That could be the thing where Tom Izzo says, I'm not sure it's going to get any better than this again. And then he could move on. I think there are plenty of people on his staff that could step in where there wouldn't be much of a skip of a heartbeat there. But an NIT win for a Michigan State Spartan side, personally, I think that is the ideal last act for just a terrific play starring Tom Izzo.
That's an interesting concept. What do you guys think? Do you think it would be better to lose in the first or second round of an NCAA tournament or win the entire NIT tournament? That's something to keep in mind. What's your thoughts on that one?